Alrighty. Just come back from fucking White Trashville. Just doing a bit of shopping. Oh, my stupid ass pants are all coming to bits. Most of them tracksuit pants. Oh, fuck. They've got holes in them. Some of them patched up when I was doing a lot with the sewing machines there, but a lot of them are just too far gone. Oh, Link, you could make more. Yeah, there's a reason I haven't been doing that many videos lately, and that's because I am as busy as fuck with a lot of things. I have had a lot of stuff that I had to do. I moved 15,000 litres of water yesterday, and that's only one of many things. And this car, having Friday off to go and get this car sorted this coming week. And yeah, the power steering pump leaks like a fucking sieve. And took it around to the guy, and he said, oh, usually it's the hose seals. And I said, well, my dad reckons it's the main seal in the front. And lo and behold, took one little plastic cover off, and shit. And he was right, it was. So it's another one of those has got to go in. Tyre at end's supposed to be fucked. Saturday, then I'm going to get a wheel alignment. It just, you know, and I've just had such a run on stuff to do lately. It's unbelievable. Myself another chair. This one looks fairly good. Oh, look at that, there's a freaking headrest in it. Jeez, I didn't even notice that. Not too bad. $19. Yeah. Oh, it's got different positions. You probably can't see. There's little notches in there. It's supposed to be 5 positions or something. The other one, the fucking bit where you sit, I had this one since, 2005 it would have been, when I was first at the vineyard. Yeah. And I was sitting on the bastard the other day and fucking whack, she ripped right through. It was fine last summer. I got it out for the first time in a long time, and the fabric's just gone rotten in it. So even though it spent like the previous fucking 9 months inside, yeah, she's fucked anyway. Yeah, seems like my other channels fucking just about dead in the water. I remember the you know, you take a year off and it can fuck things, and I reckon, really speaking, a lot of the sewing stuff just bored people to fucking death. And meanwhile on this channel I'm averaging about a subscriber every second day, and my other main one, you know, 1,500 subs or whatever the fuck it is, and you know, I used to put up a mediocre video, get 130 views, good one, get 230 views. Now I put up a good one and I get 30 views. It's just like, it's fucking dying. It's barely even worth worrying about. Strangely enough, that one I done, it got an astronomical amount of views. It was just a fucking shitty ass dash cam video of a camper van crashing. That fucking thing is still getting like an average of 50 views a day. 50 a day for something I put up several months ago. Fucking unbelievable. You know, and it's oh, I don't know where it is, somewhere north of 20,000 views or some fucking thing. It's crazy. But still gets 50 a day on average. Fucking unbelievable. That one I had, the TM gets a job in Holland with all the hemp harvesting. Got a fucking copyright strike on it, didn't I? So I had to go to a little copyright school where they play you some shitty little cartoon. Those of you who haven't been through this shit yet, which most of you probably have, they play you the shitty little cartoon and ask you 4 questions. And honestly, the cartoon's pretty clear about 2 of the questions, but the other 2, you got to sort of try and sort of assume things. So it's not, terribly specific, but you can sort of almost guess the other two anyway. So you answer your little 4 questions and then you're all good, and it tells you 3 strikes in 3 months and your fucking channel's finished. So anyway, there's bits and pieces I'd always like to show you of other stuff, but I won't be able to do that if I'm going to get fucking hit up with copyright strikes. Long and short of it is, that motherfucker's got rid of YouTube video editor. Oh, lack of use and too much effort to maintain it. Hang on a minute, if it's not getting much use, you're not going to have to do much maintenance on it, are you? No, but there's too much maintenance and not enough use. Well, how many times do you need to fix something that's not getting used on a regular basis? What the fuck is that? So since they wiped that out, I'm fucked. But in all these stupid ass updates that this fucking laptop keeps doing, I think that has a video editor. Because I've seen it say something about a video editor. I think it had Movies Maker. Not too sure, but now it's got an actual video editor thing. It's just part and parcel of one of its fucking umpteen updates. And I swear I got switched off, but it keeps doing them. The pressure's off a bit because I've got such a good plan now, but having said that, I've still got another, what are we looking at, 17 days to the billing cycle, 18 days to the billing cycle, and I've ran about 90% of it out already. Fucking hell. I'm sitting there carting all this water, and it's like a 45-minute round trip. And most of the time you're either waiting for something to fill or waiting for something to empty. And, I literally done 10 runs yesterday. And, it gets a little bit boring. So you start watching your phone, and you keep watching, and you keep watching, and you keep watching, and yeah, you watch too much. Which brings me to the subject that I want to talk about, which is social media addiction. Now, not so long ago, there's a video, probably only a week or 2 back, it wouldn't even be 2 weeks back. There's a video made by Paul Joseph Watson. Many of you may know who I'm talking about. And the long and short of it is that, yeah, the video is called Smartphone Zombie Apocalypse, and it detailed how all these tech giants, Bill Gates' kids, all these other frickin' heaps of ones, all the guys who are the top guns in the world of, tech, whatever you want to call it, IT, internet, giant social media sites, they don't let their kids have fuck all time on these things. One guy there says, I'm constantly questioning if the social media site I made was of any real benefit to the world at all, or, or not. Someone asked Steve Jobs when he was still alive what his kids thought of the iPad. And he turned around and he said, well, they wouldn't have an opinion because they've never had a chance to use an iPad. It went on to more psychological tricks and tactics that were explained by former employees, particularly a former employee of Facebook, how, they used to have the notifications, the Facebook notifications come up in blue, and they changed it to red because red's a trigger colour in your mind. And, my grandfather even used to talk about red and how, he used to have a theory that when a girl wears a red dress, people see the beauty of the red, not the beauty of the girl. And they sort of just associate the two. And it's not really that the girl's beautiful, it's just that they, the beauty of the red triggers them. and they reckon psychologically red is a trigger colour. That sort of, will, sort of has a slightly different reaction to it than a lot of the other colours because of, I don't know, it's just the way the brain works. It's people get their buttons pushed by it more. It's referred to as a trigger, and you'll see in this video. Of course, I can't put that video up, and you can go and look it up yourself. But what's the matter, Putty? What's the matter, Putty? Hey? Yeah. It's one of these things, like, you look at old Elvis, and it's just like, he's going nowhere, he's got nothing, but he just keeps coming back. And he whinges at everyone else, spends, I remember what his phrase was, I've still got videos of it on my other phone. They spend 24/7, 8 hours a day on Hangouts. It used to be the phrase. He'd whinge about everyone else spending 24/7, 8 hours a day on Hangouts. Dude, the 24 is 24 hours a day, so you should say 8/7 on Hangouts. The reality is that he doesn't cop much other than shit from trolls, and LCD, and then spends a lot of time bitching about everyone else, and makes assumptions of everyone else being losers, but it's doing nothing for him. He's going nowhere. It's a massive waste of time. He could be doing better things with his time, like getting a fucking job again. Bit disappointed to hear it was only one day for the other job, but no, he just keeps coming back. Boom, 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 boom. A lot of these characters I don't bother watching, they're all in tears over this fucking Predator watch thing or whatever the fuck it is, and a lot of that stuff is just, I'm starting to realise that a lot of people spend a lot of time watching a lot of bullshit Hangouts, but I've got better things to do. And, it's good when some people watch Elvis and they fucking do like a summary video, because it saves the rest of us hearing the same repetitive shit over and over. You know what it's fucking like. I remember Hangouts where it'd be 80% of him deciding that we need to see his fat guts in HD. and for what reason? Dude, your videos might as well be like mine in the fucking dark. We all know what you look like, Who fucking cares, Why does it need to be in HD? So it'd switch it to HD, and then the thing would start fucking buffering, and then it'd disconnect, and then it'd reconnect. And literally 80% of the time was him changing the resolution, asking if people can hear him, being disconnected, trying reconnected, try and get on the subject again, to be disconnected again. It was fucking bullshit. You'd watch 3 hours or 3.5 hours, and he'd get 20 minutes of actual talk out, and that talk that he'd get out is the same point he'd made 3 days prior. What the fuck? Some people were blaming Tony Abbott for giving him money, and Tony Abbott's a funny character. A lot of idiots don't actually know Tony Abbott versus the real Tony Abbott. You might want to fucking check it up in Wikipedia. I think there's some people, and Tony Abbott may well be one of them, who just likes to sort of drip feed Elvis $1 here and $1 there just to keep him going, just to keep him on YouTube. And you don't know, is it really a good thing? Because you sort of got the guy, it's encouraging him to stay on YouTube thinking he's getting somewhere. It's encouraging him to continue wasting his life away. You know, making videos on all stupid fucking rants that, you know, many cases are just a lot of slanderous crap. Because that's what a lot of his rants are, you know. I thought it was funny that time Tony Abbott came in and he started unblocking all the trolls. I mean, that was fucking great, that one. but all the same, I think, I don't know if it's just purely liking seeing the guy have slanderous rants, and that's why he gives him a couple of dollars here and there. But if you really look at it, it's detrimental to Elvis to stay on YouTube. Seats to Freedom said the exact same thing. You know, he's getting nowhere. He's doing nothing. And so by giving him a couple of dollars to encourage him to stay on, you're not actually helping him. You're just helping him continue to go downhill. Hang on. Try and bite this tag off. There we go. What a fucking thing. I don't know if you can see that. 100 kilos weight capacity. What the fuck? There's so many cunts I know that are over 100 kilos. Fucking, you should see some of the truck drivers that turn up to work. Fuck me. They got some weight on some of them. Not all of them, but, you know, there's a lot of people that are over 100 kilos. And, of course, that's 100 kilos Chinese standards, which means it'll cave in at fucking 92 kilos. But anyway, back to the point, I think it's just detrimental to keep a guy, keep drip feeding him, you know, to keep him on YouTube. It's not doing him any good. Just to keep him sort of drip fed to encourage him to stay on. And, you know, the guy went and got a job, and Tony Abbott went and gave him some money. Oh, fuck me. Of course the guy was going to quit his job. You know, he's barely got a job, and he's only got one for money purposes, and if you're going to start donating to the guy, you know, guess what? You've just solved his money problems. Now he doesn't need his job, so he quits it. And he probably got fired anyway, truth be told. But, you know, was he really going to keep it anyway? Donation or no donation? I really question if anything would have, you know, whether he would have stayed in the job anyway. But it is becoming less the bottom of YouTube and more the drama community. You know. And a lot of it's a lot of crap. And I'm starting to think that Elvis is simply addicted to being online. And, you know, there's a lot of idiots I've come across in life, my uncle being one of them, who don't think for the long term. Like, my uncle had to refinance shitloads of fucking times before the bankruptcy finally, you know, took him down. And he only managed to refinance this by literally like 3 days' time, you know. If he had been another 2.5 days late, it would have been fucking game over and he would have lost this place as well. And I wouldn't be here today. But it was, you know, like he'd refinance and then bang, you know, oh, good, that's taken care of. Woof. The next day he'd come in and say, yeah, we got it all taken care of yesterday. Guess what? Be the last thing on his mind. Paying off the debt, which is about $500,000 in 1998 terms, not today terms. You know, it was the last thing on his mind. His interest payments alone on this fucking thing on this debt that he had. Most of it he just, well, he bought one extra property, but he sort of just used the money to live off and, you know, just buy another car or do whatever, you know. Most of it there wasn't much accounted for, except one other property, and he's going to sell those other two places he had in the city to pay for this one other farm, which is the most useless fucking soil I've ever come across, on such a steep angle with fucking soft rock that doesn't produce anything, huge fucking steep angles, sand, which also was as infertile as fuck, with giant washouts in it. He bought this property that was fucking shit, and he decided he wasn't going to sell the other two houses to pay for it, and that just, honestly, that dragged him under. Honestly, the fucking interest payments were double the take-home pay of a tradesman. Not double minimum wage, double good wage take-home pay every week. So he needed 2 good wages every week, in full, no spending money on fuel or food, just to cover the interest. He was doomed. He was fucking doomed. You know, and he never thought about it. We refinanced and just, that was it, forgot about it. You know, and you look at Elvis and all that, and it's a very short-term sort of a, you know, just keeps coming back. Running on no money, keeps coming back. Fumbling around. He's the same age as me. Here I am talking about investments, you know, and he's bitching that, what, we should help out his fucking diabetic friend, and really it's just going to be a fucking way for him to get some of that money, scoop off the cream somehow. We all know the way it fucking works. We're not stupid. And there are people that are hard up and need help. And then you got cunts like Elvis still fucking being helped by these people. And, you know, it's like I've seen so many times, just like where I've come from, White Trashville. Losers, white trash losers, or any loser, stays losers because they hang around with losers. Now, that might not make much sense to you, but you get people who are in a minimum wage job, just barely making it. All their friends don't have jobs, are lazy bums, are moochers, or are stuck in the same type of minimum wage job, and nobody's going nowhere, but they all stick together. They all fucking backstab each other, they all mooch off each other, and they all keep themselves held down. And in essence, if you ever want to really know why Aboriginals are living low in this country, there might be your answer right there. Because in many cases with them, the fucking money they spend on them is astronomical. $6 billion a year for about 395,000 people, I think it is. It works out, not including welfare payments, they spend $9,000 a year on each Aboriginal. And that's before we're even getting welfare money paid to them. They manage to, you know, because there's still that tribal mentality inside their mind, they all help each other out. But the trouble is, a lot of them are fairly lazy, and a lot of this laziness is brought on by the large amount of alcoholics that are in, you know, the Aboriginal community, the large amount of alcoholic Aboriginals. And as a result, almost none of them are working. A lot of them are living on welfare. Everyone's mooching off each other, and you've got a large amount of alcoholics, and so it doesn't matter how much money you're throwing at them, they still live in a terrible state. But the other thing is, you can actually ask them this, and I've seen them ask this multiple times on TV. Every white person thinks they want a house because that's what a white person wants. The reality is they like to live more as a camping style because that's the way they've traditionally been, semi-nomadic tribal people. You know, and white people don't get it. And, yeah, a lot of clueless fucks who decided it would be a good idea to turn black people white, and that failed. And now you have left-wing people come along and say, oh, it was terrible what they done back then, trying to turn black people into white people, but I've got another idea of trying to turn black people into white people, and this will help them. No, you still won't help them by trying to turn them white because it just doesn't suit them. Anyway, in essence, you know, some people bring themselves down and other people hang around with those same people and get brought down by those same people. And I'd say different friends of Elvis would be suffering from that purely because they were friends of Elvis. You know, oh, my friend, he's this, he's that, and you rich people should help him. No, Elvis, you should fucking get a job and you should help your damn friend. And instead, what are you doing? Oh, well, he's paid for a Chinese buffet and he's worried about me. Well, if you're saying that we should help him, maybe you should fucking help him. Because he's helping you by the sounds of it. He's helping fill your already oversized gut, so get a fucking job. As we've all said a million times. Anyway, just a couple of little thoughts on on this shit. The big question is, when is this idiot going to wake up? The answer is, I think he never will. I think it'll be like my uncle. He will be faced with a massive humiliation. If he hasn't already got enough humiliations, Elvis, you got to stop putting those photos on fucking Craigslist. Thank God Craigslist has closed down the personal section. It's helping stop Elvis embarrassing himself further. But this is the thing, like, I don't think Elvis will wake up until he's under the fucking bridge. You know, and there are aspects where after my uncle's bankruptcy, he sort of woke up a bit. You know, there's several payments that he sort of made, mooched off a few people for about the first 6 or 9 months, and then he had to suck it up and make payments for himself, and that was the only way he was going to learn. He couldn't refinance, he couldn't mooch money off people. He ended up in this joint, he kept mooching off people for another 6 or 9 months, and then everybody said, you know what, if you can't afford this, we're not going to keep paying for you. And he fucking found a way to pay for it. And he didn't have much of his welfare check left, but he kept the place, and, well, you know, now I've got it. And I had to pay off about 15%. I thought it was going to be far more. It would have been 30%, but somebody else paid off 15% and left me with 15%. This is what happens when you've got generous relatives who are fairly wealthy. There's more stories on all of that shit, but none which my parents probably really want me to go in on. But yeah, you know, it's one of these things, like, I remember we were in church at one point and it was the same deal. There's someone there who fucking, need money, fucking blah, blah. And there were other people who are going to give them money. And I remember hearing my dad on the phone saying, do not give these people money. I've seen this shit with my brother. He asks us for money. I need help. And they will never learn, and they just get to expecting money from you. And, you know, this other old guy, you know, you know, the guy was like 68 or something at the time. He's, you know, getting on. He's now 80 or 81. I know a couple of his kids who are in their 40s, and they'd be damn near in the 50s, some of them. And you know, sort of sure as eggs, there's some people that were asking for money because welfare money wasn't enough for them. They needed more money. And my father said, buy them food, but never give them cash. Buy them things they need, but don't give them cash. And, you know, can you believe it? After whinging and asking everybody else for money, these fucking smart asses went out and bought an existing business on finance, and somehow with it packaged in a $40,000 brand new 4x4, brand new, And this is only 2.5 weeks after they've been asking everybody for money. Oh, fuck. I think it might have been 2 weeks, whatever. It was fuck all time, you know, since they'd asked for fucking money. You could count the days on your fingers and toes since they'd been asking for fucking money. And they turned up in a brand new 4x4, and I thought, oh, fucking, isn't this interesting? I felt like saying, so when's our chance going to be to drive this new thing? Seeing we fucking gave you money only a couple of weeks ago. My parents didn't. Other people did. You know, and it's just like bullshit, you know. Giving money to these people who are playing hard up. Somehow, they fully finance buying a business. I didn't even know you could just borrow money to buy a business and then increase the loan to throw a new car in as well. Fuck me, you know. But that's what happened, you know. You never know where your money's going. Anyway, just a few thoughts on internet addiction and losers and what keeps people losers and lack of people who think about the future.